And we are live, my friends. I just did a LAX drop-off. Client is catching a red eye. It was a nice, quick $200. And heading home. Long day. It was a really good day. And a few things that I want to cover in this live video. I hope you jump in, leave your comments. And the first one being, do yourself a favor and look up your rights as an independent contractor. Look at what you are able to do legally by law as an independent contractor. It's quite interesting. If you go and Google independent contractors rights or independent contractors law, there's a good article that says eight things an independent contractor can do. The number one thing that really sticks out is that you can set your own rates, right? Setting your own rates. As an independent contractor, you can set your own rates. Meaning, if the rider doesn't want to accept your rates, okay, pass. Maybe the next one passes on your offer. Maybe the next rider passes on your offer. But this guy on a Saturday night decides, you know what? It sounds okay. I got to get home. I'm willing to pay that price. Now, I want everyone to know, and this is not just for the US audience and the international audience, but this goes to every single driver. You and I, we are classified as independent contractors, right? Independent contractors. And really do yourself a favor. Go on to Google and find out what your rights are as an independent contractor. Now, when Uber and Lyft present offers to you, to us, guys and girls, and we know they're getting worse and worse by the day, these offers, and the take rate for the companies are definitely favoring the companies and not the driver. And the percentage of the take rate which the drivers is becoming less and less. And maybe we're hovering somewhere between 30 and 50% of the fare. Meaning, on a $100 trip, you'll be very lucky to get 50, but it'll be somewhere between $30 and $50. That remaining $50 to $70 goes to the company. Okay. If that doesn't piss you off, then you shouldn't be here. If it pisses you off, keep on listening. Now, in California, ladies and gentlemen, we've all heard this in the news over and over again. They fought like crazy. They spent $220 million to push through this Prop 22. And in the first year, they allowed drivers in California, sadly, no Florida driver, no Texas driver, no New York driver ever got to experience this. I got to experience this firsthand in California, as did many other drivers. Uber and Lyft would put out the offer, right? $20, and you'd say, and that $20 represented 1x. That was the offer. And then you, as the independent contractor, could set your own rate. You could set your own rate. Meaning, if you were not willing to drive for $20, 1x, you had a little button to adjust, 2x, 3x, 4x, and depending on the time of the day, and California drivers know what I'm talking about, depending on the time of the day, and usually on a Friday and Saturday night when it was very, very busy, and you absolutely need your Uber to get home because you've had a long night, you've been drinking, you were willing to pay, let's say a rider was willing to pay 3x, $60, right? Now, not only did you make 3 times the amount, but Uber also made 3 times the amount. Because that rider out there knows that supply and demand, I really need to get home. There are not many drivers out there. I'm willing to pay a premium, $60 instead of $20. And so what did the driver do? The driver he or she set their own rate. They set their own rate. And I'm not kidding you, but it was a beautiful thing during Coachella. You know, if you had a $100 trip and you would set it on 4-5x, you could make $300-$400 for the trip from Indio Coachella to Palm Springs on the 10 freeway. No jokes. People were milking it because demand was so high. There were not enough drivers out at Coachella, and I'm talking years ago. And we had that for 1 year. Now, this should be a given as an independent contractor. You should be always able to set your own rate. So if they were to bring back the multiplier, independent contractors, you could say, are independent contractors because they can set their own rates. We don't set our own rates. The rates are dictated by Uber and Lyft. And because they are screwing over the riders, meaning they're taking more than ever, tipping, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, haven't you seen tips go down? Down and down and down and down, right? I mean, tipping, I'm going to make a video tomorrow, interesting one on Business Insider. 1 out of 4 riders tip. I don't think it's even as much as 1 out of 10 riders. I think it's more like 1 out of 10 riders. No, they say 1 out of 4 riders tip. I say it's 1 out of 10 riders tip. People are not tipping anymore. Money is tight. They're being overcharged by the companies. Why should I tip? So I made a little bit of a controversial video today when I said, and I just wanted to see the reactions of riders and drivers. You know, restaurants are turning to mandatory gratuity. Sorry, I have difficulties with that one. Mandatory gratuity, meaning you have to pay a tip. Now, that's a very sensitive topic. I mean, riders will jump up and say, you don't deserve a tip. Why should I pay a tip? The company is paying you. Firstly, we don't even know how much of the tip is hitting our account. With Uber and Lyft shaving, with Uber and Lyft stealing tips, I mean, proven over and over again with hard evidence. Even Bill Ackman, the billionaire, said, you know, Uber stole his $5 tip that he gave the driver. We just really don't know. Unless we were to check in every single time with our riders, we would not know at the end of the week what the dollar amount of the tips, the total tips for that week should be. It should be in our account. We don't know. Because the unknown factors, how much of that money are they shaving? How much of that money that is being tipped actually hits your account, right? And tipping can be a game changer. I mean, tipping should pay for your gas. Your weekly tips should pay for your gas. But that's not the case anymore. It's becoming less and less. So when there are unions and organizations and associations fighting to turn independent contractors into employees, firstly I say good luck. The business model is not going to work in an employer-employee relationship. Right? It's not going to work. What we need to fight for is what an independent contractor should be able to do. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the fact is that Uber, Lyft, even DoorDash, Uber Eats is not treating us, was not following the laws as far as independent contractors go. They should put an offer out there, even for food delivery and for rideshare. And the driver can look at at that offer and say, you know what, I'm willing to drive for that offer. I'm willing to drive for 20. But an independent contractor should also be able to decide, 20 is the starting point, that's 1x. Let's do 1.5x. Let's make that $30. Or let's make it 2x, let's make it $40. So that unfortunately is missing. Dara Koshashawi, Tony Zhu, David Risher. That component of independent contractorship is missing. The biggest positive that everyone loves and raves is the flexibility. Of course, flexibility is a great thing. Do you want to get in the car at 5 a.m. in the morning and do some rides before you take your kid to school? Do you want to go out in the afternoon, lunchtime? Do you want to work the night shifts on Friday and Saturday? Flexibility is a key component of an IC, of an independent contractor. But so is the fact that the individual should be able to set their own rate. Now, setting our own rate for a very minimal 365 days, that is exactly what Uber and Lyft drivers could do in California right after the Proposition 22 was passed. But it was a question of time, and Uber and Lyft went back to their own shenanigans, withdrew the multiplier, withdrew the capability of you setting your own rates, and then started dictating the game again. That's not what an independent contractor, those are not the conditions or laws that an independent contractor should operate under. Where the company is telling them, you will follow these guidelines, you will drive to where we tell you, don't question us. If you do not abide by that amount, by that trip, by that destination, we have the right to cut you off from the platform. That's not how you treat an independent contractor. Now, I received several emails tonight from a driver out of Memphis, Tennessee. Ken Parks, listen up. So, this is a little side story here. Ken Parks was one of the two drivers at Memphis airport a few days ago. 4 thugs walked onto those airport grounds with handguns. So says Kenneth Park that they all had handguns. We don't know. Maybe there was one, maybe all 4 had handguns. And they were not in their cars. They were not actually sitting in their cars. And what a lot of people at airports do, they get out of their car, they strike a conversation, they sit in little groups, and you're just waiting your time, in the line until you get called up. Firstly, I've made several videos about this. The days of making money at the airports, ladies and gentlemen, and there'll be enough comments to back this up. They're over. They're over. You're going to tell me you're going to sit at an airport, get out of your car. If you're in or out of your car, it doesn't matter. And I'm not faulting people for being in the car or outside of their car. But you're at an airport holding lot, playing the waiting game, and luck of the draw, maybe you'll get a decent trip. But are you truly telling me you're going to sit around at the airport and wait for an unknown amount? And if you don't, and this is what you need to pay attention to, because I'm all for cherry picking, but Uber and Lyft hate it, absolutely hate it. In fact, they'll punish you. In fact, they will deactivate your account if you start the cherry picking game at an airport. Their passengers are coming in. They want you to satisfy those passengers and give them trips. And because you've been in the queue and the waiting line, now you better take. Suddenly you're cherry picking. Oh, it drives Uber and Lyft. And out come the threats. Out come the emails from Uber and Lyft. And they cut you off. They deactivate you. So I would rather be outside of an airport, not wasting my time waiting on clients. I'm having to face these threats, these constant threats, these emails and messages that Uber sends out. Forget about it. Why are you still at airports? It's an absolute complete waste of time and money. But going back to Ken Parks, who had a little bit of a meltdown. Sorry, Ken Parks, that you had a little bit of a meltdown, and I detected several weaknesses in your emails. Let me start by telling you how I can tell that you had a meltdown. And you talking to a 55-year-old, you're talking to a veteran here, veteran driver, but also veteran that's trained in the army to do reconnaissance and trained in multiple types of weaponry. So I'm going to give you some little advice. You don't have to take my advice, but Ken Parks and his buddy there, they call him Q, were outside of the car when these thugs walked into that airport lot and carjacked not one, but I think 2 vehicles. And the one, I think, was a stick shift that they couldn't get going. And I believe the stick shift, if his story holds up, the stick shift belonged to Ken Parks. And his buddy Q got shot in the leg by these youngsters. Why do you get shot in the leg? Why doesn't the person just kill you? Take note of the little, I mean, it's hard to say this when you're under stress and you're in that situation. I totally get it. But when you have the right type of training, when you've actually visited the shooting range a couple of 100 times and you know how to operate machine guns, you know how to operate handguns, you know how to operate this and that, you even know how to operate a fucking bazooka, right? You get to learn all the ins and outs. And it's my personal opinion, I carry, right? I don't need any high-powered rifle or anything, just carry a good 9mm, not one, but a few. And it's pretty hard to get your licensing in California for that. You basically have to have a registered security company. Other states it's much easier to get a handgun. But having a gun in the car is my opinion. I mean, Uber and Lyft, if they find out, yeah, you deactivate it. But what's more important? Is my deactivation important or is my life important? And today's crazy times, when you have these teenagers who know that Uber's weakness and Lyft's weakness is that there's no safety and security on the app, and they can summons the car. They can literally summons the car to themselves, order it through a gift card, and cherry pick, hand pick the car that they want to steal. If that's not the car they want to steal, they cancel, they order the next one. Right? So you're literally driving into a situation. And when I was talking in the video about this Memphis car lot, and yes, that driver is correct. I did not know that they were outside of the cars, right? They were outside of the cars chit-chatting, and these 4 thugs walk onto the airport grounds. Now, the lights were out, and if these drivers, these 2 drivers, one was shot in the leg, and then this drama queen, Ken Parks, who had a complete meltdown. If you're smart, get yourself a good attorney, and you could sue airport management for failing to keep you safe. Lights were out, creating a dangerous circumstance which invited in problems. So you would have a strong case against the airport, and they'll probably settle for a lot of money. And you have a case against Uber, because Uber is renting that facility, right? They rent, maybe they're renting it from the state or from the airport. But those 2 together, the guy that got shot in the foot, and I call him Meltdown Kenneth Parks, you could together file a class action, two of you, against airport management and Uber, and make a lot of money. If you have a good attorney. You have a shitty attorney, don't waste your time. And the secret in the source is to find a good attorney, to know how to find good attorneys. You guys have an opportunity there that you'll get a settlement that you don't have to get back into your Uber, and you don't have to sit at airports or stand outside of your car smoking or not smoking and chit chat and hoping you're going to get a trip. Right? So when I made the video, I'm talking in general. If you're driving into a situation, I've made the same. Kenneth Parks, pay fucking attention to what I'm telling you right now, right? And stop this. The last thing you want to start is your insults and your F words with me, because I'll shut you down so fast, my friend, you don't even know. Not only with Uber and Lyft, but also personally, I'll shut you down. I don't tolerate that type of shit. People know that, right? Different breed you're dealing with. So put your insults aside. Let's talk about the situation. Let's talk about what happened when 4 people marched onto that airport grounds. This is not a typical case, ladies and gentlemen. Airport facilities or airport holding lots are rather safe. You hardly ever hear of something. But because there was a breakdown and the lights were out, like I said before, get yourself a good attorney, because airport management will have to cough up a lot of money. They'll have to settle with you. But the videos that I've been making is, if you are driving into a situation, go back, watch all my videos, and you see 3 or 4 people with a hoodie coming your way, and you think they're going to get in the car. What I said, pay attention, get the fuck out, leave, right? Don't allow those people to get into your car. If you can see you have 3 or 4 youngsters coming with hoodies on, masks, they were wearing masks, they had glasses on, you get the fuck out of there. Now, if you are not in your car where you were supposed to be, with your windows up, right? Safety, 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 safety. But you're out there and you're chit-chatting, or you're having a smoke, and you have 4 thugs coming up. And the guy was trying to correct my story. I'm reporting on people driving in and facing or about to pick up people. Play my video. Play past videos. And there's a lot of things you can do. Now, element of surprise. If the guy comes and sneaks up behind you in the car, holds the gun against the window, you get out. You give them the keys. Why put up a fight? I mean, he'll blow you away right there and then. They're already pointing the gun at you. Give your car up. So you take the keys out, hold them up, and say, here, take my car. Now, what this guy said, what this Kenneth Parks told me, and I'm gonna give you some good advice here, Kenneth Parks. If they shoot your friend in the leg, that's a sign. That's a sign. If they wanted to kill you, they'll kill you right away. They would have just walked up to you and shot you, take your car. But they're sending a signal. And if your buddy gets shot in the leg, you give up the keys. You say, go ahead. No, but what the guy did is, apparently they had problems with his vehicle because it was a stick shift, and now he's trying to help the thugs. He's trying to help the thugs figure out how to work a stick shift. A bunch of fucking 14, 15, 16-year-olds do not know how to operate a stick shift. Give them the keys and remove yourself from the situation. Why the fuck are you getting in the car showing them how to operate a stick shift? Now, he said, he had a gun to his head. So if you had a gun to your head and you're dealing with a 14 or a 15 volatile young teenager, and it happens a lot, right? These teenagers are carjacking a lot, and some are very trigger happy, but they'll usually shoot you right in the beginning. Right in the beginning, if they want that car, if their intent is to kill, or if they're people that have been in jail and they're back out of jail and that's all they know, they'll kill you. They'll kill you. Right? You just give up the keys and walk away. Hey, here's my wallet, here's my keys. I've done it several times. I've handed over my keys in South Africa. I've handed over my wallet. I've handed over my watch. And I say, anything else you want? I'll give it to you. And you actually 9 out of 10 times you'll fucking walk out alive. But at that point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm facing a machine gun, an AK-47. I'm not facing a bunch of youngsters. I'm facing adults, sometimes multiple adults with machine guns pointed at you. These guys had 4 young people pretty much take them by surprise. And Kenneth Parks, had you been armed and had you had training, because those kids can't afford training, but had you gone to the shooting range and had you been able to stay cool, you could have killed all those 4 kids. You could have taken them out. You could have taken them out, and you know what? The law would have protected you because you were ambushed by 4 youngsters. He said all four of these people had guns. And it's because you didn't have a dash cam. And it's because you didn't have a handgun. I didn't say, hey, you need some semi-automatic or high-powered rifle. I just said, just get yourself a fucking handgun. You know, and a holster. Strap it to your body. Have one in the car. Maybe 2 guns. And if you get deactivated over that, so what? You get deactivated, but at least you are not dead. And you could have taken care of, you and your buddy could have taken care of business against 4 little youngsters outside who really don't have the knowledge with guns. They don't. I mean, I'm talking about South Africa. I've seen youngsters 13, 14, 15 shoot handguns. I've seen youngsters 13, 14, 15, 16 shoot machine guns. They do not know how to operate that equipment. So you one up on them if you have the training. How do you get the training? You go and get yourself licensed, you get your permit, you get your handgun, you go to the shooting range, maybe you pay a trainer. If you want to learn tennis properly and become a pro, you pay a trainer. If you want to learn water polo, you pay a trainer. If you want to learn this or that, you pay for education. Pay a trainer and show you how to operate that equipment. Because that equipment will save your damn life. It saved my life many a times. A few weeks back, I had to draw a gun here in LA, and then the guy backed off. It'll save your life. I mean, up against 4 little teenagers that want to steal your car, and they probably have stolen guns, but they don't have the training that you have. If you had gone out, bought a gun, and get all the training you need, you could have taken care of business. And that's all I was talking about. And there is no reason to get bent out of shape and to insult. And listen to this. So the guy is firing off, I don't know how many insults in email, and he basically says, oh, go fuck yourself often. He says, go fuck yourself often. I mean, how many times can I fuck myself, right? He goes, go fuck yourself often. Because I told him he should have gone out and got a gun and taken care of business. And if you don't know how to take care of business, that's on you, buddy. If your friend gets shot in the leg, I'm sorry for your friend. And then after all the insults, he still asks me to run a GoFundMe for them, this jokester. I'll run a GoFundMe and I've raised 40, 50 grand, 100 grand for drivers. Ask Yu Lee, a Chinese guy who got beaten up. Probably raised about 30 grand within a week for the guy. Yeah, I will help anyone raise money on GoFundMe, but you need to know how to talk to people and treat people right. Right? You can't just have a fucking meltdown and start firing off insults and then say, oh, can you please help us with our GoFundMe? What planet do you come from, Ken Parks? So, I don't know where the character is. He must be in Memphis, right? Because that's where it happened. But please, ladies and gentlemen, I understand. I completely understand people if they don't want a handgun. It just might be against everything that you believe in. You might think, this is not in my DNA to have a handgun. I get it. I'm not some fucking crazy pro-gun pushing guy. I'm not. But I've been to the army. I believe in safety. And I can tell you a 9mm has gotten me out of a lot of trouble. And you know, what happens in the army stays in the army. You know, there's nothing I'm proud of. You're working for the government. You're not working for yourself. But as an individual, you can go out and you can carry, man. You can carry a gun on you. You can carry a gun in your car. As long as you're following the law. And as long as you're going out training and know how to operate that machinery, know how to load that machinery, know how to use it, know how to hold it, know how to store it, then you're fine. But again, there are those people that say, well, right, you're fucking crazy. Why are you promoting guns? I'm not promoting. You've got to do something to keep yourself safe. You can't be out there in this business as a sitting duck. A sitting duck at an airport, in your car, outside of your car. A sitting duck driving up doing a food delivery at a house in a dark area or in a business park. Or a sitting duck as a rideshare driver going to a destination that you maybe don't want to go to. It's way too dangerous, my friends. So when I say go out there and get yourself something to keep yourself safe, I mean it. Go out there and spend anywhere from $100 to $100 to $1,000 on your own safety and security. Because you are the most important thing, whether it's to your family, to your wife, to your husband, to your kids. You're the most important thing, and you need to stay alive. So let's take a step back here, Kenneth Park. It's not going to help you trying to insult my recommendations. My recommendations are firm, and I stand by my recommendations. You're driving into a situation, you have a couple of people in hoodies. I don't care if you're fucking white or black or pink or yellow, and you have a mask on and you have sunglasses on and you hiding your face, and there's not one of you, there's four of you. That means trouble. Get the fuck out of there. Right? If you're in the airport, hey, sit in your car, put your windows up. If you want to wait around for a trip, wait. Hey, if you want to get out of the car and smoke and talk to your buddies and run down the clock until you eventually get it, so shall it be. Airports are not really dangerous places. But if you get shot in the leg, that's a sign. That's a cue right there. Pay attention to that. Here's my keys, bye-bye. But you took a couple of steps further, teaching the guy how to, teaching a child who does not know how to drive a stick shift. You're in a losing game, my friend. The aggravation's gonna go through the roof. Hey, here's my car, here's my keys. That's it. And then you fuck off, you leave, you get out of there. You can take my car. Yeah, you're welcome, here's my keys. And then while they're in there trying to figure it out, you're already gone. You're gone. You've run away or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe I just, maybe I grew up a little bit different to this guy, Kenneth Parks. You seem very naive to me. You seem very naive. And I would suggest you go out and buy a dash cam or something else. So I had to address that because, unfortunately, I don't get spoken to the way this guy thinks he can speak to me. You know, if you value your job, tone it down a bit. And to everyone else, please, this is dangerous times. You've got Chicago drivers out there. Chicago is a hotbed. Memphis is a hotbed. Washington, Maryland, Virginia, a lot of hotbeds, a lot of dangerous. This is just pure statistics. I'm not trying to single out anyone. I'm just talking about statistics where most of the carjackings are taking place. Number one is actually Chicago. So avoid areas that you can avoid. Cherry pick like a champion. Only take the trips where you feel safe. If you want to stay downtown in the business areas and the banking areas, stay there. Stay there. Don't have these companies force you to go somewhere where you don't want to be. Decline or don't accept. Doesn't matter if your acceptance rate is low. If you're very low acceptance rate, doesn't matter. What matters is that you stay safe. What matters, what should have mattered to Kenneth Parks and his buddy there, and again, you can't, I wasn't there, but sounds like they were taken by surprise. But if somebody shoots you in the foot or in the leg, my guess, I could be wrong, but you put up some resistance. Because if a bunch of teenagers in the dark suddenly appear and you're there on a parking lot and you're talking and you're outside of your car and they hold a gun against you and say, hey, I'm taking your car. Not a problem. I'll gladly cooperate with you. Take my wallet. Here, take my keys. I have 3 kids. You guys go ahead. Take my car. Why did the guy get shot in the leg, Kenneth Parks? Why did your buddy get shot in the leg? Tell me. Did he put up some resistance? Did they maybe want your car after that? After he put up some resistance? Did he put you in that situation? You got to look at all the variables, Kenneth Parks. But something doesn't add up in your story. That's all I have to say. So go ahead, do share your stories, put them out there. But how did we start off the video? We started off the video by saying, independent contractors, are they treating you and I as an independent contractor? No, they're not. Are you able to set your own rates? Yes, by law you can. So even if you're negotiating side deals or cash deals, you can do that because you're an independent contractor. You can set up your deal outside of a deal. If you have agreed, and then that's basically just Uber and Lyft forcing you through the algorithm to agree to a trip and agree to that amount. Then you accept it and off you go. But you're not an independent contractor at that moment. If they're presenting the offer and you're not even allowed to counter offer. And a counter offer should be a multiplier where you can say, oh, that, it's a good starting point, $20, but I'm not gonna even switch on my car under $40. You're gonna have to pay me 2x, or at least minimum 1.5x, or maybe on a Saturday night at 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 or 5x. Maybe you need to pay me $100 instead of $20. So until Uber and Lyft and the other companies start doing that, we are not independent contractors. And don't think you're an independent contractor because you have the flexibility to drive whenever you want to drive. That's one of the many, many things a independent contractor can do. Flexibility is beautiful, don't get me wrong. You're not working 9 to 5. You can jump in and out of that car whenever you want. Flexibility is the best. But so is the ability to set your own rate. Okay, great. Thank you for that offer, Uber, Lyft. If your client is willing, if your rider is willing to pay 3 times that amount, and they accept it, I'm willing to drive. You should be able City Hall for LA. I love it. You want me to take on City Hall. Should we organize something there? Do you want to organize something at City Hall? Email me or text me, as far as that goes. So yeah, we should be pushing, and I also believe drivers have lost out on billions and billions and billions of dollars because of contractors, but we can't set our own rates. Imagine all these years we were able, as an independent contractor should be, to set our own rates. Imagine every trip that you have done, whether you've done 5,000 or 10,000 trips, the amount of money you lost out on because you were not able to use a multiplier. Because the offer that they presented, you were not able to say, sorry, I'm going to do that 2x or 3x. A lot of money, friends, that we have lost out on. So, are the companies liable for not treating us as independent contractors? I mean, can we go retroactive and back and say, hey, you know what? I've lost out on a lot of money because you never ever gave me the ability to negotiate. You forced me to accept your rates. That's not what an independent contractor does. I feel like we have lost out on a lot of money that they owe us. I truly do. And I don't say that lightly, because in California, my friends, we had this for 1 year where we could set our own rates, and you were making money. You were making very, very good money. Because if you were willing to work on a Friday or Saturday night, you were making money with the multiplier. Somebody needed to get from Orange County to San Diego, and a couple of drivers like, nah, I'm not willing to do that 2-hour drive or 1.5 hour drive. I'll do it for 2x or 3x. So your $150 suddenly becomes $300. People were making money. Now, what is stopping them from bringing the multiplier back? What is stopping these companies from treating you like a true independent contractor that should be able to set the rates? What's the whole manipulation algorithm game? They want to control every single part of this business. They want to control every single variable in the algorithm. You have absolutely no say. You don't even have a say in the end destination. Go ahead, take it. If you don't, we'll deactivate you. So this is what people are rising up against. This is what people are upset. This is why people are protesting. This is why people are getting really, really angry, because they're finally realizing, hey, am I not supposed to be treated like an independent contractor here? I don't think you are treating me like a true independent contractor. I don't think you are paying me like a true independent contractor. And people are getting smarter and smarter and figuring it out, and they're getting angry. Protests. So I think Uber and Lyft have a rough journey ahead, and they're pushing for autonomous vehicles as fast as possible. You know, as many Waymos as they can team up with, or as many taxi drivers that they can team up with, but they certainly don't want our pushback. They do not like that we are testing the companies. They do not like that we are actually pushing back. So, who do we have here? I just got back. I will be doing a video in my Z28 Camaro. I'm tired. I've worked since 4 a.m. this morning. I mean, about a $1,200 day today. Not working for me. Keep that. Madnan says not working for me. Keep that ISH. I don't know what that means. Douglas says those days are gone. Unless you have a lot of private riders. That's true. That is true, my friend. C Black says big tech sounded benign at first. Great messages here. The Pro just got to Woodland Hills. Oh, you just, the PIO says I just got to Woodland Hills. It was hot in Woodland Hills today. So Douglas drove a cab in Detroit for 17 years. Fire sale. Says start a GoFundMe for attorney and I'll help you. Cool, I'll talk to you about that. Hi, RSP, when will you take on City Hall? Oh, good one. I like this one. C Black says, oh, and tinted windows. Worth it to everyone. That's really, really, you know, when a thug or someone with bad intentions has no idea what's going inside the vehicle because you have it so, I mean, there is something to, and all my cars have extremely dark tinted windows. Can't even see what's, so if somebody is looking in and looking, you can see that they don't know what's going on inside. You can get ready. You can get ready with your firearm. You can have a holster right here down by the seat. I can't draw a gun out because if I get reported, they can shut down my channel. So I don't really flaunt weapons or weaponry in a YouTube channel. Don't do it. But I got to be armed at all times, ladies and gentlemen, because my life is worth more than a couple of thugs. I'm sorry. And that's how everyone needs to think. So it starts off with something small like a dash cam. It's just not safe anymore, right? It's just not safe anymore. But I really appreciate that because I think dark tinted windows, how much will that cost you? Right? You can have the front windscreen can be a certain tint. You can't have that pitch black. But your side windows can be, and all, the back can almost be super dark black. Roy Watkins, my good friend from Vegas, is in the house. I miss you, buddy. I gotta see you in Vegas sometime again. Really. And anybody know this fool Ken Parks in Memphis? Email me some info on him. He hangs out at the airport, and his buddy is the guy that got shot in the leg. Apparently, they call him Q. But yeah, I want to get this information on Ken Parks. Get me his number plate if you know him. That's all I need. I just need his number plate. That's it. Jabari Jones is in the house. Is there another protest for the 4th? Yes, apparently there's a big protest on July the 4th. Post office BX is in the house. Teleport app is out and does what you're describing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Patrick is in the house. Patrick Guadagno. How are you? Good night, Roy Watkins. He's a great guy. Devin says, hi, New York City taxi drivers are going through it right now. Big protest on the 26th. Send me the flyer for the protest. Let me make a video. Let me make a video for the protest. Todd Lemons is in the house. And Devin, send me the flyer. And Roy Watkins, good to see you, buddy. Been a while. I got to get out there to Vegas, my friend. I got to get together with my Vegas friends. Got a good crowd of friends in Vegas. And seriously, I'm not kidding. Anybody in Memphis know this guy, Ken Parks? Get me his info. Kid needs to learn a lesson. And please stay safe, everyone. Amsterdam, hoe gaan het? Liza's in the house. Amsterdam in the house. One of my favorite cities. Hey, C Black, I love the idea of everyone should invest into dark tinted windows. Listen to him. That has value. Didn't even really think about that from a security point of view, but I'm so glad you brought it. I automatically tint all my vehicles because of the privacy for my clients, right? I don't want people gawking and see who I have inside the car. But if a demo on the 26th, send me the details. Send me the details. Baie goed, meneer, baie goed. Lekker gaan. Hoe gaan het Amsterdam? Dankjewel. White Duck says, geez, Ken Parks, don't poke the bear. He's already poked him, too late. I'm sorry, I'm a different breed. I'll apologize beforehand, but I just don't tolerate that bullshit. I don't. And then you think I'm gonna be stupid enough to raise money for your GoFundMe after all those insults. Gaat goed. Gaat goed in Amsterdam. Baie lekker. Baie goed. Hey, the Netherlands, they play, I think the Netherlands play tomorrow at Euro 2024. Pennsylvania, Douglas says Pennsylvania, the front windows cannot be tinted. Not at all, or just a little bit. California, you can put a very light tint on the front windows. So, it says in Pennsylvania, the front windows cannot be tinted. Essie says, I think they are taking our tips. Essie, I've received so much proof from drivers, screenshots, whether you want to call it shaving or whether you want to call it stealing, they have their hands in our tip jar. And when I say they, it's Uber and Lyft. Because if they're doing that millions of times, shaving amounts off or not paying out at all, yes, they are definitely stealing tips. Jeffrey Hernandez says Netherlands versus France. Ooh, good one. But Mbappe is out for France. So I think I put my money on Netherlands. Netherlands against France. I'm going to put my money on Netherlands. I put my money on the Netherlands. I've been watching I'm a big soccer fan. I watch the Euro. My son is in London and is on his way to Cologne, Germany, to watch some of the games. But I watch them all on TV. I love soccer. Love the game. And my team is Germany. Alemania. So Jeffrey, today was great. Just 5 private clients. Ended the day on about $1,200. So for me, it was a good day. But it was a busy, long day in LA. Yesterday, I saw a guy get stabbed in Long Beach by a liquor store, on Cherry. I saw a guy get stabbed. I don't know, maybe drug deal or something that went wrong. The day before, I saw what was left of a motorbike driver that was dragged under a truck for quite some distance. I mean, there was nothing left on the motorbike. There was nothing left of the rider on the bike. There was another. So back to back in 2 days, 2 fatalities. It's the Wild West out there, my friends. The man that doesn't carry a weapon get jumped at airports these days. Isn't that fucking crazy? That's what the world has come to, my friends. You could actually get jumped at an airport. You think it's the safest place to do rideshare, right? You'd think that the airport is the safest place to do rideshare. Think again. Amsterdam, we're going to block Amsterdam. Oh, baby, I need those videos. Get me in there. I love it. The guys, the Dutch, the Hollanders, they know how to strike. They know how to protest. Shut it down. Shut down the roads. Shut down the grachten. Shut everything down. Shut the entire city down. Just don't shut down the coffee shops, the underground coffee shops. 65 people in the house. Please hit the like button. Please be safe out there, friends. Please. I mean, this is like, I cannot, if I can just reach a few people, and in all the years I've been doing YouTube, if I can just save a couple of lives by helping promote dash cams, by helping promote some of the essentials. Some of the essentials. Thank you. Send them on over. We need a big protest in LA. A big one. You're right. We need a really big one. They're still stealing tips. You'd say that again. They're not stopping. Oh, I need to get to bed, my friends. Have a good night. And please promise me, all of you, please promise me you'll do something regarding safety or security this week. Just reassess things. Where can I tighten up my personal safety in the vehicle? Just think about it. Maybe there's something you can do. Maybe there's some stickers you can buy. This car, you're being recorded, audio, camera plus audio. Just do something, some deterrent. Do something for your own personal safety, please. My safety is no rides under Pico at night. I love it. No rides at night, exactly. Only people I'll drive at this hour, and it's almost 12 o'clock, it's almost midnight here, are private clients. The guy paid me very well. I drove a billionaire to get a private to his jet tonight because he had to take off emergency. Call me up. Torsten, can you take me? Yeah, of course. I get paid well. So, it's good. Life is good. Be safe out there. Safe all. I like that. Safety, baby. Safety is everything. Don't have the safety, you're not going to make the money. Time DJs in the house. I think Germany could win the World Cup, yeah, but I mean, what about Euro 2024? I think it's either England, Spain, or Germany. But the World Cup, I would agree with you. I'd put my money on Germany. Young team, dynamic team, just getting better and better and better. They beat France, they beat Hungary, they beat unstoppable. A lot of good. Anybody following the Copa? Argentina beat Canada today, 2-0. Oh, nice. I have a futures bet on Germany and Brazil to win Euros and Copa. I love it. I love how you think, Jeffrey. I love how you are thinking here. Fantastic. Don't know about Brazil. Brazil's been rather disappointing. But I love how you think. We have 51 people. We have 50 likes. Thank you. So, greatly appreciated. Hit the like button on the way out. And stay safe. Good night, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Get some good rest, everyone. Tomorrow is another day. Be safe.